Okay, well, welcome to our channel. I'm Ashleana and this is Klaus, and he'll talk a little about himself in just a minute. This is TNT Truth Bomb, and we collaborated, came up with this together because we just love to talk NT stuff. So before I get into that, my name's Ashleana. And I'm married to an ISTP, so I just love ISTPs. I love the way they work. I love chatting with them, and so Klaus just is naturally a good friend because of that. I have 3 kids, 3 girls. So if you're a believer, pray for me. And I homeschool. So this is kind of my fun thing that I do on the side. Is I love typing, and I really like OPS's system. I think it's super great. Love the community. So this is just something that Klaus and I decided to do together because we've been talking for like 2 years, and this is what we talk about. We just are so nerdy about this kind of stuff, and we just chat about it together. So yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, Klaus.
Great stuff. My name is Klaus. Yeah, the only label I like to still ascribe to myself is being a digital nomad. Yesterday I arrived in Mexico, so very fitting. So yeah, for about 8 to 10 months a year, I travel the world. Apart from any other label, maybe a few type-related labels we will talk about in a minute. I did notice in your introduction, you started with propping up the tribe, which might be a DE thing. So I will do that too and say, yeah, the start of this channel is mostly thanks to Ashleana, her play energy. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, her NT play convinced me to get over my NT sleep savior and actually start recording videos and not just spend the time in Facebook chats. And yeah, so maybe we can continue by introducing our ops types.
Sure. Okay. I am FM NETE. I'm a play, consume, blast, sleep. I literally have to visualize that in my brain. Yeah, so I am an ENFP, but like all ENFPs, this is Klaus's words, all ENFPs are weird. And I always just say I'm just kind of a weird ENFP. So that's my type. Shall I talk a little bit about how I view my play, or do you want to go into yours? Okay. So my play energy, if you're familiar with OPS, it's double masculine, which is craziness. Here's why I think it's actually really crazy is because I'm 5'1" and I'm petite, but I can be so in your face. Like I literally consciously soften myself and do the double deciding when I'm talking to people, because I realize I'm a little intense. And what I'm intense about is like the ideas and what's true and just speculate the information. I'm really intense about the information. So that's a little bit of how it manifests in conversation. But really, I see my NETE as truth seeking. I really see it as like a spectrum. It's both extroverted, which is kind of interesting because you'd assume it doesn't go very deep, and in a sense it doesn't. That's probably why I really love the lead TI, the thinkers that are TI, because they go deep. They really help me with that. And so anyway, on a spectrum, I'm looking at, okay, I picture it when I was thinking about it, all this TI information, like all the TIs that I talk to, and then the patterns, the extroverted patterns for me, and then just all of these like cross sections of like, okay, what is most likely true then based on all of this? It's not just TI, obviously, it's SE, it's other things, but that's just kind of how I picture it, because I'm always TE, pinging with the tribe as kind of like almost its own shortcut. I do my own research. I am consume savior and infodom. So it's not that I don't do my own research. I would not be the type of person to be like, oh, that's probably true, and like try to convince people of something unless I have to do my own research. But really, NT to me, though it may not be OPS like coined this way, for me it's manifested as truth seeking. So that's how I see my lead play animal.
Cool. Yeah, hearing you talk, I have so many, I see already 3 paths that I could go on, but I think I'm going to take the path of when you said what I'm intense about, and I'm going to make that about me. What I am intense about is to consume. I like to call it the all-encompassing consume. Like there's obviously things I don't consume, but there's a lot of things I'm interested in. And I would struggle now to start even. Like the first thing that comes up right now is sports, but I'm also into economics, politics. I really like movies. I love music. And that is probably only 5 of 25 things that I could name here. And it does feel quite intense. Like when I take in things, it feels like I'm really with it. Like there can be days where I consume for 12 hours without a break, like without a proper break, because it feels so good. And then it's like, yeah, maybe I can briefly touch on my sleep then as well. Like it does not feel exhausting to me. Like there's an element of, I get charged. Like I traveled for the last 2 days mostly, and I feel like I really want to just charge via consume. Like there's probably 2 to 3 days now in the what I call consume queue, and I really look forward to going there. Yeah, and that is like my two savior animals, like the intense consume and also the NT sleep that I like. That's why for the longest time I thought I was an INTJ until I got into OP. Like I thought my identity is an NT identity, and it kind of is because of that strong sleep, but I'm also like, I like to give facts. You will probably hear that on this channel a lot. I like to give you the exact numbers, like I'm traveling the world for 8 to 10 months a year. I have to give you the numbers. So,
exactly.
But did I tell my full type yet?
I don't think you did. Go ahead.
So my full type is consume, sleep, play, blast, ISTP, so TISE, and I am the audio model. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can move on to describing how our channel name came about.
Yes. How did TNT come about? So it was mostly the fact that you and I, Klaus, we like to talk about the NT stuff. I love that you have the Save Your Sleep. The NITI is so helpful to my NETE. It's just, I wish I could explain in words, and part of it's probably because I haven't processed exactly what it is, or maybe I just haven't put my thumb on it. What happens, but somehow just having the introverted energy and the extroverted energy, I don't know, reflecting, that reflection, it just helps me to narrow down, really is what it is. It helps me narrow down in our discussions, or it just begs the questions I haven't asked yet. And I think it works in reverse for you. I'm not going to say it does, but I think sometimes you're like, okay, I didn't think of it from that outside perspective. And you know, I mean, and that happens when you conversate anyway. But so when I was thinking about that for our channel, it just visually came to me in my head, because that's how it works. I'm like, okay, NT, like TNT, you know, like my NE got in there. So I was like, all right, TNT, truth bombs. Yes. And it just took a couple seconds, you know? Yeah. And we both have that savior thinking. And even though your savior intuition is technically your second savior animal, I think it's still very much a part of how you are wired and how you think and how you speak too. So that's how that came about.
Yes, and when you say your savior intuition, I agree with that kind of, even though I'm savior sensing, but like, because I'm savior sleep, actually that's interesting. Like, obviously I can't be called savior intuition, but then I could in a way, because I'm savior sleep, and that is the intuition. So I have 3 saviors.
I think in a sense, does it mean like you're more balanced? I mean, it just kind of goes with you being an IP too. Like you're just more balanced there.
Yeah. Yes. So let's talk about what we're going to do with this channel. So we have a name now. I notice in me I want to explain that here's a T and there's a T, T and T, but that's me wanting to be sensory, or like just, yeah, I don't know. But so what we're going to do is we're going to consume something. We'll start with our savior animals. So the one that we both have as savior animal is consume. So we're going to start consuming something, and that is going to be Jordan Peterson's Exodus series on Daily Wire Plus. And yeah, we just we will do a lot of play energy by just pinging back and forth what was significant to us. But to be able to do that, we have to first narrow down, because else, like episodes of 90 minutes to, I don't know, 2.5 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
Yes, sensory. Is going to be difficult to just talk about, like, or like difficult to come up with something coherent, maybe. And yeah, so to do that, we're going to narrow it down a bit, and we're also going to watch ourselves as we do that. And I will model it actually, like something that, as you were speaking, came up for me is like the double, like I noticed a pattern in me I have never noticed before. And that is, I talked about the double masculine consume earlier.
Yes.
The double feminine blast. It is so difficult for me when I blast to consciously look at you. Like I have to consciously decide to, and I don't know what that is, probably the single decider energy as well. But it's like when I consciously do it, there's something really grounding happening. And so I'm just doing that right now. I'm testing out this intuitive thing that I noticed. And so there's going to be a lot of that. Like we will watch our minds form patterns.
Yes.
We're both kind of NT. I mean, I'm ST, but my identity is very NT. So we're going to do a lot of that with the Peterson stuff. Obviously not only because we're not that self-centered, or as Liana isn't. I'm quite. But so yeah, that's going to be, yeah, how we're going to do this, or how we're going to start with this. Yeah, and you can tell me if I forgot anything or anything that you want to add, like that. Yeah.
I think that's it. And then of course, I have to throw in the DE, throw us some comments, give us some feedback. And that's probably it.
Sounds good.